Hi friends, and welcome to A Lovely Yarn podcast. My name is Amber. Today I wanted to do a special pattern roundup video because I have been noticing some really nice new knitting patterns that have just been released this month, which is May of 2026. These are all patterns that genuinely caught my eye, and if I had all the time in the world to knit, I truly would want to knit and wear all of these patterns. There's a really nice mix in today's episode as well. I am going to start the episode out sharing some spring and summer garments, and then there are a few cozy sweaters and cardigans, and then I'm going to close the episode up sharing a couple of small shawlettes or kerchiefs that really are so cute and I would love to make. I think it's always fun to see new releases in the knitting world, and I really appreciate all the work that designers put into their pattern designs. There will be some patterns on here from well-known designers, but there are also quite a few of designers I've never even heard of before. So hopefully this episode will give you a little bit of an inspiration for your knitting queue. Not that we need any more projects in our knitting queue. So thanks again for joining me today, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first pattern I want to talk about is called the Jean Top, and this is a pattern by Johanna. It is a fitted cropped tank with wide straps, which I really appreciate. And what really stands out in this pattern is the wave lace pattern combined with the contrasting garter strips or stripes, and it just looks very modern and fun, but still very wearable. It's worked from the top down in one piece. So you begin by working the front and the back separately. They're knitted flat and then they're joined in the round. And then the straps are actually created by picking up stitches around the armholes, and then you work a double knit band. I have never knitted a pattern. I don't even know that I've actually ever seen a pattern that uses this technique, but I think that would be a really nice technique to produce very sturdy, structured straps. So this pattern is intended to be worn with some negative ease. It has a close fitting silhouette, and I think that really works with the structure of the fabric and the overall style of the top. I think you could probably work it looser if you were feeling brave enough to play around with gauge. And honestly, that's what I would do because I'm not a fan of negative ease knitting. If I were to knit this, I think it would look beautiful knit in a classic neutral palette, so a soft beige with maybe an off-white, so low contrast. I think that would be really pretty and very versatile. I think it's also lots of fun with the two bright contrasting colors. Yeah, so you could have a lot of fun playing with different colors with this particular top. Okay, up next is a pattern called the Stardust top, and this pattern is by Yonca Ozbelli. This one has such a soft, easy summer feel to it. It's a relaxed lace top that is worked in an eyelet column pattern, and the sample uses a cotton blend yarn. The construction seems to be pretty straightforward. It's worked flat from the bottom up in pieces. And then one of the things that stood out to me and makes this pattern interesting is the split hem in the back. The back is actually worked in two sections, and then you seam them partially together, leaving that slit detail, which is supposed to give it extra drape and extra movement. The pattern is designed with a lot of positive ease, so it has that loose, airy silhouette that I think would be really great in the warmer days of summer. And I would probably wear this layered over a simple dress or a tank top. I would personally knit this in an off-white or a creamy neutral so that it would work with lots of different outfits. And I feel like it's one of those pieces that could become really versatile for a summer handmade wardrobe. Oh, and another bonus about this pattern is that it is free. Okay, so everyone knows Andrea Mowry, and I haven't knit a lot of her patterns. I've only knit a couple of them, but I really like this new release of hers. It's called the Flock Vest. I think she also has a cardigan version of this style. I love the stripe detail because I think it makes it look really fun and playful without being too bold or trendy. And it's worked seamlessly from the top down. So you begin at the back neck, and she includes two different length options. You can do more of a cropped version and then a full length version. I like that it can be styled multiple ways. She shows it buttoned up like a tank top, which I really like the look of that. But I think it would also look really cute worn over a t-shirt or like a simple dress. And I believe that actually some of the sample knitters had taken their, like had worn their sample photos with it unbuttoned over a t-shirt. So I love this one. It's polished looking, but it still is cozy looking and fun. And that's usually the kind of knits that I'm drawn to. Claudia Quintanilla designed this next pattern. It is called the Diana Tee. This one is just classic and timeless looking to me. It's vintage inspired. It's worked from the top down, used sport weight yarn. It has contiguous set-in sleeves. And I think overall the silhouette is just very simple and elegant. What really caught my eye though, and what set this top out from other ones, were the sleeves. I think they have like a very subtle princess type shaping to them, and I really like that. The construction also sounds really thoughtful. There's short row shaping at the back neck, and then you use some shaping at the sleeve caps to make just for a better fit there. I think it would look great. And you know, you could wear it casually with jeans, but then I also think it would be really pretty paired with a more dressy skirt. I just really appreciate patterns like this, pieces that feel polished and wearable, and that I could honestly see myself reaching to wear over and over again. Okay, we have the Lauro sweater next, which is a pattern by Minimi Knit Design. It's got lace details on it that are just absolutely beautiful. It's a top-down raglan sweater, but instead of being like a basic raglan, it has this really delicate lace motif that travels along the raglan lines, kind of like the Felix pullover and cardigan. Kind of reminds me of that. And then it doesn't stop there though. It actually, the raglan or the lace pattern continues down the sides of the body. And I think that's the detail that gives this sweater such a refined look and sets it apart from other patterns. It is worked seamlessly from the top down. It has short row neck shaping, and the neckband is picked up and worked at the end. It's also designed to have a fairly generous amount of positive ease, so it has relaxed fit. The sample that the designer included on the project page uses multiple strands of yarn held together to achieve a DK weight gauge. I think she actually used 3 strands of lace weight. I think I would personally knit it using a fingering weight held double with a strand of mohair to achieve the DK weight. That is mostly just from personal preference, because I feel like holding 3 strands of yarn together would just be more to manage than holding 2 strands. And I like the look that I get with a fingering and a mohair strand. I've done that a lot. You could knit it with a single DK strand, but then you know, I love the hazy glow that the mohair gives, and I think that really adds to this pattern. So you could do it, but I probably would not. Okay, now this next pattern is called the Woodland dress, and this is by Ronja Hakalehto. I'm sorry, I probably mispronounced that name. This is probably the most aspirational pattern in this roundup for me. Honestly, I don't know that I would ever have the patience to knit an entire dress, but if I was going to, it would be this one. I just love the shape of it. I love the design of it. I think it's very feminine. It has the little delicate spaghetti straps, which I don't typically like thin straps, but I think it works well with this dress. It's got the soft V neckline, and then the little button details down the front, like the button placard, is so adorable. It's worked from the top down. You begin with the back and the upper front sections. You work those flat and then you join them together and then you work in the round. And then there's lots of finishing details that really make it stand out. There's all like this I-cord edging, the straps and the button band. It really gives this a really nice finished look. One thing that's nice about this design is that it is completely adjustable. So if you want a shorter casual summer dress or something longer and flowier, you know, you could do either of that. I actually even think you could do a short peplum type style shirt and not actually knit the whole entire dress. That may work. This sample was knit using 2 strands of light fingering weight together. So I'm assuming it would have a very nice drape. Okay, next up is the Hagstone Blouse by Anna Ozbelli. And this sweater is just absolutely beautiful. I really want to knit this one. It's a top-down raglan. It has an all-open lace pattern all over it. And the fabric just looks so airy and delicate. It just looks perfect for like a cool summer evening sweater. So it's interesting, but the designer actually knit this using a strand of linen yarn held double with a strand of mohair, which I would have never thought to put those 2 combinations together. But I also think you could use like a sport weight cotton or linen blend if you didn't want to have the mohair in it. And I think you could really change the feel of the garment just by changing the yarn that you use. So the sweater itself has a classic silhouette with raglan shaping, and then it has some simple ribbing at the neckline, the hem, and the cuffs. So really the lace work is the main focus of the design. Okay, I feel like I've been featuring a lot of Coco Amore knitting patterns lately on these pattern roundups, and I don't know, all of a sudden I'm finding all of her designs. But this next one is called the Skagen sweater by Coco Amore, and it just looks so incredibly cozy. It's a very classic oversized sweater, but I think what makes it interesting are the simple cable columns. So those are actually cables that run down through the sweater. So they're adding texture and visual interest, but they're not making it look overly busy or complicated. So the cables themselves are apparently worked without a cable needle, so they must be pretty small. And I love the clean vertical lines. And so I think it gives the sweater a very modern feel, even though the shape itself is very timeless. It's knit at a worsted weight gauge, and the sample is a merino and Surrey held together. The yoke is worked flat to begin, and then you join in the round, and then the sleeves are picked up and you run the same cable motif down the sleeves. And then it also has some finishing details like folded ribbing and Italian bind-offs. So that would make the whole sweater feel very finished and refined. Overall, this is just the kind of cozy, elevated basic that I am drawn to, one that you could reach for over and over again and throw on with a pair of jeans. Okay, the Norma blouse is next. This is a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I love the color work. I love this simple color work on this top. I just think that this color work is so simple and classic, and it's not overly busy, and I don't know, I just want to knit this. These color work stripes make me want to knit it. It is a relaxed fit, so it's loose, but it's not oversized. It's worked from the top down. You use the contiguous method for the shoulders, so you should get a really nice fit and shape throughout the upper body. The sample uses a fingering weight held double with silk mohair, which is why it has that really soft, slightly fuzzy halo that I absolutely love, and I think that works really nice with color work. But if you wanted it a more crisper look, you could just use a DK weight yarn and have the more crisp pop of color in your color work. This next cardigan is so adorable. It's called the BonBon Cardi, I think, long sleeve. So I think this designer also has a short sleeve version that she has released at some point in the past. The designer's name is Mer Knits. First of all, I love the scalloped edging. I love scalloped edging. So there's this scalloped edging along the button band, and I just think that is so delicate and vintage looking. I just love it. And then there's a little bit of a slight V-neck shaping and the all over tiny lace motifs. This whole cardigan just feels so soft and feminine. The construction it's worked seamlessly from the top down. So you begin with the back, and then you pick stitches up for the front, and then you eventually join together. The sleeves are then picked up afterward, and you use some German short rows to shape probably like the sleeve caps. The pattern includes 2 sleeve length options, depending on the look you want to go for. This just feels like one of those pieces that would look beautiful thrown over a dress or worn casually with jeans and a tank top. It just has that really sweet heirloom inspired look, and I don't have anything like this. I don't have any cardigans that are this cute, so I really want to make this one. All right, there's only 2 patterns left in this roundup, and they are both like shawls or small shawls or kerchiefs. The first one is called the Hazelnut shawl, and this pattern is by Johanna Philippe. So this one caught my eye because of the motif, the texture motif. And I also really love the smaller shawlette size. The lace motif throughout the shawl is apparently inspired by hazelnuts. So there's these little triangular shapes across the fabric, and I think those are just so pretty and delicate looking. It's worked from the bottom tip up, so you're increasing outward as you knit, and then the edges have a slip stitch and yarn over detail, which gives it a nice, clean, finished look. Honestly, one of the things I like most about this pattern is that it only uses about 1 skein of fingering weight yarn, and first of all, that makes it a manageable, I feel like it'd be a good palette cleanser. I've been knitting so many garments lately that I think that this would be great for that. And then also I have so many skeins of like single skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I feel like a lot of us knitters do. So this would be a perfect pattern for that. Okay, and then the next pattern is by Ashley Adams. This is the Garden Camp kerchief, and I love this kerchief. I'm absolutely in love with this, if you can be in love with a kerchief. The lace motif absolutely screams summer to me. I feel like it reminds me of like a summer tablecloth that you would put on a picnic table. I can't quite figure out what kind of nostalgic memories it's like pulling up from inside my brain, but it's pulling a lot of nostalgic feels for me. It comes in 2 sizes, first of all, so you can make a smaller kerchief and then you can make a larger shawlette version. I think both are beautiful. I love the lace motif. That is why I love this so much. This is one of those patterns I just literally instantly want to cast on, and I almost bought the pattern when I found it, but I waited because I have so many things I want to knit right now, but it's so cute. It's so beautiful. I probably am going to end up purchasing this pattern, but I wanted to make sure to share it with you guys. So those are the patterns that I wanted to share with you today. All of those patterns were released in the month of May 2026, and I think there were some really good ones this month. I was a little hesitant to include like heavy sweaters in this roundup, but I do realize that not everybody likes to knit summer garments. Some people like to knit the cozy, wintry sweaters and such all year round. Also, I mean, we're just starting into summer. It's not even technically summer here in the Northern Hemisphere yet, but you know, we've only got like, well, depending on where you live. Here in Western Pennsylvania, I get about 3 months of summer. So my summer season is short. I feel like I honestly should be knitting for summer during winter, and fall and winter I should knit for during summer. It never ends up that way. I just typically, my mood dictates what I knit, and I'm typically not in the mood to even think about winter in the summer. But I think there were some really good patterns here. And like I said, that one, the Hagstone blouse, I think that would be great. You could do that, like have a summer version and have a fall/winter version as well. I would love to know down in the comments, let me know which one of these patterns was your favorite, or if you know of any other patterns that have been released this month, May 2026, that you have your eyes set on, or maybe you've already added to your queue or your Ravelry cart. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more content like this. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and hopefully I will see you again really soon with the next episode. But until then, enjoy your knitting, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.